Hey team, thanks for joining us. I'd like to introduce to you our CEO and co-founder, Night Power. And today night we've got pretty exciting features to talk about. Today we're going to talk about how you can instantly access any site on your mobile device and look at subdivision and development calculator.
Absolutely. Hello, Lou. Good day, everyone. Yeah, it's such an interesting topic because we hear it from our users over and over again. So I'd like to first share some really interesting stats with everyone. Number one, we have over 45,000 registered users using Relab platform, and close to 1,000 of them are paid users. Okay, so it's number one. Number two, every month there are over 2 million address searches being performed on Relab, so we have a very popular and very busy platform. And number three, most importantly, over 70% of those users are accessing Relab on their mobile devices. So it's a really good indication for us that a lot of people are using Relab because they're on the go. They're busy serving their client. They're busy going to their next project. So when we were building Relab platform, we had mobile and device optimization as one of our development goals, so that Relab can be accessed anywhere on any device.
Perfect. That sounds awesome. So this means that literally if you're a real estate agent or a developer, you can actually be on site and you can pull up our Relab subdivision and development calendar calculator, and you can actually set the parameters that you want and calculate a return on investment.
Absolutely. Why don't we give it a go?
Great, let's have a look.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so can everyone see my screen now?
Yep.
So I'm using, so Relab can be accessed on your desktop, but here I'm showing everyone a mobile view on Relab. So we can just type in any address, say we're interested in this address on the shore. So I brought up the address. First you'll see a map, right? Map is very important when it comes to project feasibility or when people are looking for their next site for developments. So the first thing is map, and I just want to quickly show everyone what are the top features on the map. We can toggle between satellite map and a base map, and within the satellite map you can zoom in and look at the finer details of the address that's of interest. Okay, so this is how you toggle. And then on the top of the map, there are a few different layers. So this one shows us services and flooding. So if there are any flood over the site or lack of, this is something that's quite easily identifiable. Cool. So let's just use this site as an example. If you scroll down to halfway through the page, you'll see this feature that's called Subdivision Calculator. We click on Subdivision Calculator, boom, here we go. So we have...
Night, is that a free feature or is that a membership feature?
Good question. It is a paid feature, so it's a Relab Pro feature. If you're on the free version, you can easily upgrade just by tapping on the upgrade now button.
Oh, cool. But we also offer a 14-day trial, so you can go and have a play with us for 14 days.
Absolutely. So anyone, if you haven't tried before, you get a free 14-day trial with us where you will be able to access all paid features, and then you can decide for yourself whether Relab Pro is something for you.
Right.
Okay, so we are in Subdivision Calculator now. So let's put ourselves in the shoes of a developer who's looking at a site so that they can develop and produce the much needed new supplies, new houses on the market. We're looking at this address, and within Subdivision Calculator, we are showcasing our zoning, which is a mixed housing suburban zones. The system has told us whether there is infrastructure, which is stormwater and wastewater on sites. The land size is approximately 809 squares, and the potential number of subdivision is 7. So this number is dynamically generated. Relab system is clever enough to have picked up its zoning and its land size. So based on a terrace house sort of design, 7 lots is a hypothetical sort of upper limit that a design can be achieved. Okay, there are
Awesome.
a few, if we keep scrolling down, so the reason why I'm showing you on this very narrow view is we're mimicking the mobile experience. So if you're using this on your Android or iPhone devices, this is the kind of experience you will get.
Yeah, perfect.
And I just want to emphasize that, you know, a lot of our users are on the go. So we've made mobile experience one of our top goals when we're developing Relab.
And that's perfect because a lot of the times you will actually be on site and you'll have a client or a customer standing right beside you. And it's great to just be able to pull that up and actually show them there, right there on the spot, within seconds, what the development potential of any site is.
Absolutely. So, so I like to take everyone through a quick, easy four-step process to use Relab's subdivision calculator. The first one is your development options. So given that this is a mixed housing suburban zoning, users have the choice of achieving a one-story design or two stories design. So let's say we choose two-story design. And here we can change the number of lots to say 6 or 5. So again, we have worked out the maximum floor area depending on the coverage and other unitary plan rules for the site. So our maximum floor area for the entire project is 582. So if we go with a 5 lot design, each lot would have 116 squares. If we go for a 4 lot design, obviously the number will increase. So let's just stay at 4 lots. So it's
That's fantastic. So there's parameters that you can actually enter the data in, and that will automatically update your estimated sales price, etc.
Absolutely. So we've
Cool.
made Subdivision Calculator as accessible and as customizable as any other tools that you can find on the market. So it's just like using a mortgage calculator, right? You can go in there, change your mortgage term, test out what does 25 term look like, 25-year term look like versus 30-year term to decide the best option for you.
Right.
Okay, so let's leave at 4 lots design, which means each lot would be 146 square meters, so it's 2 stories. So imagine 146 squares, 2 stories, you can achieve maybe a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom design. And then
Absolutely.
your estimated sales price, again, that is just a system estimation, but the user has a full ability to go in there and change numbers according to their research, right? So here, 1.1 mil for a 2-story design. And for our advanced users, we have actually given them the third option. And here, you can actually put whatever number that you think makes sense. So you can go 2 lots. You can go floor area per lot 250, and you can put in a estimated sales price of 155,000. So in this third option, which is customizable option, our maximum floor area is just that, whatever the user has put in, which has given some of our more advanced users the option to come up with a plan that fits their strategy. But if you are first-time users, our recommendation is just to stick with one of the 2 or one of the 3 system-generated options. So let's go with number 2, eh? So 2 stories, 4 lots. So now we've completed our step number 1, choose your development options. Step number 2 is to estimate how much it's going to cost you. So we have at the top our land acquisition cost, so assuming that this developer has to buy the land off the previous owner, and you have land acquisition cost. Again, given how crazy the market is, you can change it to a high price or whatever price that you think will fit your budget. We'll have our per lot subdivision costs. Again, they are fully customizable. You can dial it up or down according to your experience. But what if you go, hey, I don't know what the per lot subdivision cost is. So we've given a prompt here. So the average per lot cost is between 1,700 and 150K. Now I know it's quite a wide range. If you need help, talk to if you have builders or planners or engineers that you can tap their shoulders on, just ask them for a really high level number to put in here. And the next one is your construction cost. So we've dealt with subdivision. The next big chunk will be construction cost, which is measured by per square meter. Again, this number is easily attainable from just talking to some of the group builders or your or your own builder. Let's say we change that to 2,700 per square meter. So the system then automatically worked out your total subdivision cost and your total build cost, and we add our marketing and sales expense. This is where a lot of agents will go, hey, look, when they're, imagine you're working with a developer on site on your mobile, you can go, hey, I'm going to give you a slight discount because we've been working together for a while. I'll reduce the marketing and sales costs, and I'll help you out with marketing, etc. So everything's customizable according to the user's desire.
That's really handy. Given the rate of construction cost rises, every week we're seeing things change, aren't we? So that's incredibly handy to be able to change those parameters.
Exactly. Yes. So you can dial these numbers up and down according to your need, and the calculator will automatically work out the overall project cost for you. Right. So now we've completed step number 2. Step number 3, which we kind of already done, is the system will take input from step 1 and input from step 2 to work out the overall sales price, 4.4, and take away the overall expenses, 3.1. We have a estimated gross profit of 1.2, and based on that, the return on cost is 40%. Now that's a very, very handy tool, because 40% is not bad for a development project, because the rule of thumb, any developers are looking for a 30% minimum. There's another use case here, Lou, which is if you are a real estate agent and you're working with a vendor who's looking at putting their site on the market, which is development suitable, and let's say the vendor might have a slightly higher than average sort of price expectation on their property. So here, as an agent, you can actually work through these steps with your vendor where appropriate to go. Let's just go for a crazy number, right? Let's say the vendor wanted 2 mil for this site. So we put 2 mil as our land acquisition cost. Then you scroll down to step number 3, and instantly your ROC, which your return on cost for the developer, will be reduced down to 6.5, which is way below your 30%. And this is where the agent can have a really rational discussion with the vendor and go, hey, for developers, this number feasibility wise just doesn't stack up. Why don't we change it down to something more reasonable? So here, let's dial it down to 1.3, and we get a way better ROC, which is return on costs close to 30%.
Oh, that's my dog.
A wee dog barking. Cool. I think the dog is interested to know what we're doing here as well, Lou.
I think that might be a delivery. That instant return on cost, that's pretty clever. And given that, you might be just standing on site and you want a really quick way to do that. Of course, we've gone through the steps quite slowly, but this literally can take you under a minute to do this, right?
Absolutely. And for first-time users, our advice is just give it a go, right? Putting a few addresses and run through some of these numbers to get a hang of it. And once you know what to expect, then you can run this really, really quickly.
Hey, we've just got a question there, Knight. We've got a question that says, can I ask how accurate the calculator is? So that's a really good question. So in terms of accuracy on that number there, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so that's again a really good question. As you can see, that the purpose of this calculator is designed so that the user, once you have a few go at it, once you have the relevant input information, you will be able to help get an estimate. Of course, we keep stressing this is just an estimation only. For large projects such as development, of course, you'll go through a few numbers of due diligence, getting paid, getting pay of the professional to do a more detailed version on it. But the purpose of the subdivision calculator is if you're just at the beginning of your research process, right? It's not realistic that you get the big guns out, so to speak, and do this a detailed feasibility on every site, because chances are in the crazy market that is now, you might not be able to land every site that you wish to get. So this just brings up the certainty or the feasibility probability from 0 to say 70 to 80%, and then you close the gap with the last 20% by involving a team of paid professionals to just confirm those assumptions.
Yeah, fantastic. So you're looking at a tool to help you in the very early stage of the due diligence process. And if the numbers look like they're going to stack up, then you of course go and get in the big guns.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes. Hey, Lou, do you know there's one more powerful feature of the subdivision calculator? Which is step number 4.
Fantastic.
So with previous 3 steps, all the calculations are based on the cash input, which means that there are no lendings involved. But as we know that a lot of developers do need bank loan or other type of borrowing to get the project off the ground. So our step number 4 gives them ability to work out a bit of financial scenario planning. So at the top, you choose one of the 2 borrowing options, whether based on LVR, loan to value, or LTC, loan to cost ratios. Again, all of these numbers are customizable. So if we go to loan to cost and adjust the ratio to 70%, the system will work out that the amount that you can borrow is circa 1.5 mil. And then say we go with that, we go loan amount chosen for this scenario is 1.5. And if we keep scrolling, we can actually get the latest interest rate, say 8%, any finance or admin fees, 2%, get your loan term. So currently it's 1 year. Let's change to 1.5 years, just given that everything's taking so much longer these days. And your total finance cost, which is your interest, being 158,000. And then that gets added to your overall project cost, which will increase project cost to 2.4, and then we'll have an estimated gross profit. Well, in this scenario, because some of our input number has been adjusted, it's actually not the profit, it's actually a loss. So this is where you can quickly go back and go, hey, something doesn't stack up here. Let's see what's going on. It is probably, I'd say, this land acquisition cost is too high. So if we reduce that down to 1 mil, we'll get a much more reasonable return on investment. ROC still on the lower end, and the ROI is 18%.
Fantastic. That's a really handy tool too, because as we know, with property prices, they're going up at the moment. But the banks are starting to get some pressure from the Reserve Bank to potentially get those interest rates up a little bit higher. So, really good to be able to input those parameters and know exactly what you're dealing with at the very, very start of your due diligence process, so that you don't go spending a lot of money or a lot of time and then find out, a week or 2 down the track that the project isn't going to be feasible.
Absolutely.
That is fantastic. Thanks so much for showing us that night. If there's no more questions, we'll say goodbye and we'll see you again. Cool. See ya.
Goodbye, everyone. See ya.